Okay, it's Ronald off the record. I am now going to start volume 2 with this next episode. I believe it's called Jock. I'm really excited. First, to introduce myself, I am a lawyer with the civil rights group BAM, By Any Means Necessary. Watching entertainment I enjoy. I make videos about, well, mostly Stranger Things, but I plan to do other media. And I try to bring analysis and heart to the conversation. I am known for being the Byler Lawyer, the lawyer who has been theorizing about Mike and Will becoming a romantic pair. I like to theorize about the future in my videos, not just react to them. So what do we expect? I put out a video recently expecting that there's going to be a, quote, villain arc with Will, where he's, okay, not necessarily he's like genuinely evil, but I think he might be possessed or be a sleeper agent for Vecna, or be made to believe he's doing evil things, because Vecna is a manipulator who can make people imagine things that aren't true. Vecna did not kill Will. Vecna has more plans for him. Okay, if this show is realistic, and it may or may not be, the military has lost a lot of authority. But for all these monsters to come out and for the military to not have done anything to protect the town, like they weren't effective against those monsters, if there's any nod to realism, then they are going to trust the military less. I think they set up the Hellfire Club to be like the pariah blamed for the hell opening in Hawkins. I expect there to be a vindication of them, and it might very well be that the gang is going to take some leadership of the people of Hawkins and let the truth out some. And this episode is called Jock. They have access to the radio and can communicate with everybody, so my guess is that they're going to do that and give some leadership to the people of Hawkins. Now, the 12 kids in Dimension X, they've all been taken, and now it's going to be November 6th, the big day, the anniversary of Will's taking, and also the anniversary of the play where Henry Creel, that's the night where he gives in to the Mind Flayer and harms a girl that he had a budding romance with. Theories on why the 12 kids are being taken and what Vecna's doing, it's not clear. And I have 3 theories. Mr. Clark talked about a wormhole, about being able to travel to another dimension or to another time. Vecna wants to go back to the past, to the 1950s, which would be a nod to Back to the Future, and maybe try to change the past and what happened between him and Patty. Or change the past where he entered that cave when he was an 8-year-old boy and got exposed to Dimension X for the first time. Another possible theory is that he's trying to make super kids with powers. Speaking of the kids, they're now going to be in the hive mind in Camazotz. So when Holly returns to the Creel mansion in league with Max to try to do some kind of plan to try to escape from Camazotz, she's likely going to encounter the 11 other kids. I've had a theory that there's going to be a kid power arc, and Holly and Derek know the truth of what's going on. So they might be finding themselves teaming up to lead the other kids to do some kind of daring plan. So that would be cool. We'll see. On the argument that there is no time for Byler to happen, I don't think that there is not enough time. I did not say this in my scripted video, but Robin said that a snowball turned into an avalanche, and we had that look of recognition from Will. And what we've seen so far has been relatively subtle. However, I think Robin's statement is actually forecasting how Byler will appear to the general audience. That'll seem like a snowball rolling down a hill and becoming an avalanche. So, okay, let's fucking get started. Oh my god, I'm watching it! What's gonna happen after the Will gets his powers?
He's a sorcerer. Life, honest to God, sorcerer.
Oh, Will likes being hugged.
You really did it.
That's the first hug since the end of season 3. Oh my god, I'm sorry. That's just a big deal.
Honest to God, sorcerer. You did it. You really did it.
Vecna, he's got the kids.
He has all 12.
I failed.
Alright, team up with Holly, your nemesis.
In my travels, I discovered another world, free of monsters and darkness. You have dormant powers in here. Channel our energy and draw this new world to ours. And as the light reaches the darkness, the light will expel the darkness. Your loved ones will be saved, and you will be heroes.
One of my theories is that he wants to instead of time travel, try to destroy the world. He said this at the end of season 4. Vecna wants people to die. I think he wants to merge Dimension X with the real world using a wormhole. And he is deceiving them into thinking the opposite. He's talking right there about merging another dimension with the real world. So that's my running theory now. The speech. You suck, Kay. You lost your captive. What? Why would they leave Callie there? Because Callie... Is Callie, messing with their mind? Because she can. She has the best powers. She's so awesome. Ah, Dr. K, you done fucked.
Word you added to Elle's vocabulary.
I'm a bad influence.
That's interesting that Callie says that. She's been influenced by Elle. She seems to have turned from her previous path.
I'm sorry I couldn't protect the kids. You did everything you could. You fought everything.
Oh, I wanted to say something earlier. Will is getting the Elle syndrome. Now that he has powers, he's taking responsibility for everything. And I didn't even think of this. Just that Will is gonna blame, like, feel the responsibility of everything going wrong now. And that's so Will. Will's too nice.
He has his vessels.
I just hope your theory's wrong.
November 6th, the day all this started.
Okay, so Will's a vessel, you guys. I wonder if Will's gonna become, like, you know, a villain, quote unquote. Anyway, we'll see.
What if this time you don't use your powers against his army? You use them against him because he underestimated you. I think we all have. I know I did. And that is a mistake I will never, ever make again.
Oh. One, I didn't expect Joyce to go from protective mother to let's use you against Vecna. I didn't expect that. Yeah, it's such a big switch from, what, 2 episodes ago, where she was like, you can't even walk out the door. And she's believing in Will. Oh. It also makes me worry for Joyce's future, if you know what I mean. She's one of my death predictions. Okay, sorry. I'll shut up. Here's our church with vines. But they left... Why'd they leave lights on?
A failsafe no one knew about. I saw it in your eyes tonight. I saw.
Elle's right. Elle doesn't want you to die.
Your friends were supposed to be here, yeah?
I'm so glad to have Callie in the team. Why didn't you use your walkie-talkies? Whatever. Plot necessities.
You've all seen Return of the Jedi, I hope?
Yeah, it's the one with the teddy bears.
Ewoks.
Yeah, it's the best one.
Is it?
No, but every child loves it, so tracks.
In the film,
So if we find this dark magic shield generator,
we destroy the wall.
Find Vecna, save him.
Medals for all.
I don't think this theory's right. One, why would there be a protective shield for the outside of the Upside Down? And where Camazotz is, where Max and Holly is not where their physical bodies are. It's like a mindscape. But, you know, my theory, I talked about it before, where the 12 kids are, is I think they're in Dimension X. We'll see.
I'm reaching him and say,
And it looks like what?
how would you expect me to know that?
Alright, Steve and Destin are making up this episode. I know Steve and Destin are platonic, but I feel not nearly as enthusiastic, but enthusiastic for them to make up. They need to anyway. Derek!
I'm not dipshit Derek anymore. I'm
Delightful Derek.
If this is gonna work, we need dipshit Derek.
He's gonna do it. I'm so surprised Joyce is prepared to put Will in danger. I wonder what Mike's gonna think about this. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. But I guess it's her believing in her son's amazing too. Are people aware that Will might not... Okay, Vecna didn't expect Will to do this. Doesn't Vecna now know that Will can do this and is going to be more... I don't know if it will work out a second time. Vecna's going to be more aware now. Oh, by the way, I set my piano bench out with my jacket. I thought my cat Megan would sit in it, but no, she's in my lap. It's not going to be that easy. What, you're going to snap Vecna's limbs?
Voila. We've got ourselves an instant hive mind.
I guess this is how they access the hive mind. But they're just trying to kill Vecna. Okay. I don't know where rescuing the kids isn't part of that, but killing Vecna's a good thing.
I mean, shield generator. I mean, made up bullshit.
Thank you.
Y'all want to know my thoughts. But they're both being assholes to each other. Steve and Dustin. Dustin a little more. Okay, I have to say, splitting the party's a bad idea in D&D and in these shows in general.
We need to be a team like we used to be.
We are still a team.
No, we're not. Not anymore. Start being honest with me.
Oh, and that's what you've been? Honest with me?
Yeah, I've been honest with you.
You hesitated.
The two of them know each other. They know they're hesitating. So she's hesitating with him because she senses he's not being fully honest with her. Interesting. I guess it's the college stuff, but that was just emblematic. I don't fully understand what's going on. Ooh, call the others. I don't like splitting the party.
And they took me.
It's fucked up. To bring her back to this nightmare.
My blood.
What is she trying to do? She's trying to replicate her?
And then we escape Camazotz.
Alright, so Max somehow knows how to go through Vecta's memories of Holly. Okay. Max hopes to walk through the Holly's gate back, just as... Okay. Except that gate brought Max to her body in a hospital, and Holly's body is in the strange place. So I don't know if this will work out. Will and Robin teaming up. Cool. Will and Robin. Oh my god, Will and Robin. Oh! Bonding, gay bonding.
I never thanked you for saving my life.
You're welcome.
Aw.
I mean, I should be thanking you.
Me? Talking. Helpful. Someone should really tell my mother.
After this Tammy and this tape epiphany, is that when you and Vicky started to...
No.
Okay. Hold on.
I mean, I never would have had the guts to talk to Vic back then. I was finally cool with myself, but sharing that part of myself with someone else, that was a whole other thing. Eventually, I did it. You know, I told someone. Looks like we're all set.
Are we now dispelling the entire theory now that that was going to be the end of Will's coming out arc? I mean, this is spelling out that there's another step. There's self-acceptance, but then there's like coming out. I mean, this isn't even about Mike yet. This is just about sharing who you are with other people, right? I'm sorry, gotta rewind that. Letting you know, all you ignorant people out there, that being coming out of the closet is not just a one-step thing, and the end result is, oh, you decide to be like, accept yourself, and oh, I love myself, and that's the end. No, there's more to do. And we're not just safe, quote unquote, people who just love ourselves. We're gonna act on what we believe in, and, you know, assert our right to love.
But eventually, I told someone.
Aw, his face. Who will you tell, Will?
Who did you tell?
The obvious. Steve.
Wait, what?
Saying it out loud to someone and hearing him be cool with it, you know? It's like this weight lifted. And you know, if I hadn't have told Steve, then I probably wouldn't have had the courage to open up to Vicky about it, and probably wouldn't be talking to you about it either.
Yeah, it's good to come out to somebody, have a friend first. And he has Vicky. Will has Robin now.
I know I'm hoping to double my audience by the end of this year, but...
Yeah. This is the 80s. You don't just come out on social media. It's like one at a time. Aw, and Will's so hopeful here. It's nice to see. Will's thinking about coming out to more people and then going for his Vicky. Did he explicitly say... I'm sorry, I gotta rewind. Is he talking about when did you get the courage to come out to like go for Vicky? Because Will's thinking about going for Mike now.
Tape epiphany. Is that when you and Vicky started to...
No.
Yep. He's thinking of going for Mike. There's Macon. She made it into my background. That's my jacket. So yeah, I thought that would attract her. Oh, I gotta say, the whole theory that anti-Bylers had that the point of Tammy's speech was to give up on Mike and find love in himself is not true. Accepting himself was a first step towards having the courage to come out to others. And yeah, it's a journey. it's not all over for Will. Which also tells me, because he has more to climb on the journey, that Vecna can prey on him. The writers are mindful of how to put obstacles in that journey for him. And I don't know, I'm not sure exactly how it works out, but it's compatible with a Byler being key to fight off Vecna's hold on Will's psychology.
You're the reason that we lost contact with him in the first place because of your no-show at the crawl, so this whole mess is actually your fault.
They're about to have their biggest argument right now.
It's because no one could ever be as perfect as he was.
Well, he was never fake, and he would have solved this in 30 seconds flat.
Well, if I'm such a goddamn idiot, how come I'm the one still standing here?
Oh!
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
What?
I told you not to be heroes. I told both of you. What did Eddie do? He charged into a swarm of killer bats.
To save my life.
He saved no one.
He saved everyone.
You know the truth. Eddie wanted to play hero, and he made a dumb call, and he got himself killed. Stop it!
Ooh.
All right, Dustin. You know what, man? I'm done. I'm done.
All right, yeah, just go and crawl back to Nance. Fake asshole.
I'd said what I said before, that you don't want to be close to another older mentor. Maybe that's still true. Now, Steve, I don't know. I thought Eddie was a hero. He made a good call, I thought. The bats would have flown through that gate into Hawkins. I don't know if what Steve said had much validity, but Dustin treated it like it did. I don't know. I'm with Eddie making a good call, and Dustin's like, what the fuck, Steve? Why did you just say that? Okay. Oh, of course, after they have the big argument, he'll make the biggest discovery of all. What? Oh, what the hell happened here? This would be what created the Upside Down.
I was there.
Her blood's being used to create new people. Oh. She's very pregnant. Oh. Oh my god. I believe this is how they created Elle and the other kids. They used Henry's blood on these pregnant women, including Elle's mom.
Why do you think Kay is so desperate to find you? They will create more like you.
I'm trying to remember what Callie said earlier. When Elle wanted to kill Vecna, Callie was very just pessimistic. Callie's just thinking they're just gonna use us? But then they just escaped. Why is she so pessimistic? I don't know. Dr. K's got a plan, but he just escaped. Go to the wall, Derek. Get there fast. No!
Are we?
Oh no!
Who gave you this map?
Oh no. Oh no, Henry's gonna figure everything out now. Ew, they got a dead Demogorgon somehow. They just brought them back with them somehow? The military is really a non-factor, and that commander must have died. Just drive into the Max Z and get a corpse and come back. I wonder what happened to those kids in the elementary school. Oh, I gotta say, most of Will's scenes have been with Robin this season so far, and apparently, reportedly, they're supposed to be with Mike. So, are we being fed? Are we getting a fire hose of Byler? We'll see.
Ready?
I don't know what's happening. Oh. Oh. Okay. Ew! So gross.
Mom.
Yeah.
Thank you for trusting me.
Kill the bastard.
Something wrong is gonna happen. Something's gonna go wrong, and then Protective Joyce and Mike will kick in. That's my prediction. Use that hive mind.
Henry is searching for her.
This guy's just a girl with weird clothes.
Max. Wait, what about Max? She's with Holly, but Vecna's hunting them.
Why didn't I fight? Why didn't I help her?
That was old Holly. You would now.
Anyway, that's good advice for someone who has regrets. That was the old you, but the new you would not. Just gotta say. Okay, Will. What does Will do now? Oh, he's got these super arms now. Oh, ooh. Oh no. What? Is this Will? Oh! Ooh!
Max, if you can hear me, you need to run.
I did not expect that to be what's going on from that teaser. Oh my god.
Get out.
Get out.
Oh. Okay, Vecna did not know Will can do this until just now. This is Vecna figuring it out now. Oh shit.
Cricket! Come back to us! Come back to us. Will! Come back to me! Will!
Just more of this melted shit.
What is that stuff?
Something's there.
Huh?
Don't touch it!
Did you hear that?
They're out of range.
No!
Guess I'll miss the show.
Oh, why did he split the party? Oh no!
It's not a shield generator! It's not dark magic! It's something else! You destroy it! You will die! We will die! Holly will die! Everyone will die!
You sure about this?
No.
Whoa, Hasty! Oh my god, check in with your team! Oh my god, Nancy! I love your strength, but this is not working. Oh no. Oh. Oh no, what's happening? Alright, it's Ronald off the record, commenting on episode 5 one day later. So let's get started. I have 2 pages of typed notes here. I remember watching it first and thinking, oh, this is a setup episode for more dramatic things to come. But when I was rewatching it, I was like, damn, there are some big things going on, particularly in the relationships department. Every storyline escalated. So anyway, saying it's a setup episode kind of does it a disservice. Okay, a few thises and that's. I thought it was really funny at the very beginning when Joyce hugged Will, and then Mike hugs Will. Joyce probably would have reached Will second. She was laying on the ground and kind of a little farther away. I know that's for dramatic effect and to have Mike hug him second and to make that its own moment. What's my point there? It was just funny and cute that they deliberately did that to make it a moment. I think that might have been their first hug in a long time. It just seemed to me that Will looked kind of surprised a little by the hug. Or maybe the nature of the hug. I don't know. But my theory is that it was the first hug since they parted at the end of season 3. And, you know, this is significant given their non-hug was such a thing in season 4. Another tiny thing, the merry-go-round not having yellow in the middle that Holly noticed. Maybe that's a subtle clue that Will is going to go bad because yellow is his color. Just putting that out there. And then when Will gets knocked out at the end, we have an instance of the Will voice coming from Mike. Joyce, of course, is panicking.
Will, come back to us! Come back to us.
Come back to us, Will. It's so gentle. That's such a Will voice coming from Mike. Which maybe he's doing that because it always worked in the past, giving the Will voice a snapping out of something, but it's not working this time. Nancy's choice there at the end. Oh my god. Nancy, I love you, Nancy, but this is probably the dumbest, most reckless thing any character has done in the show. And you did it. They literally just said, oh, this looks like we just saw a nuclear meltdown. This looks like Chernobyl. Oh, let's fire at this dark magic device. She said she wasn't sure what would happen. My thought that the military would lose all credibility and then the show would look into whose leadership the town would follow is completely sidelined. I don't know if that will play out later. I have to think that it will come up at some point because the Hellfire Club needs to be vindicated and the people, the real heroes, need to tell the truth. Also, the big revelation that Dr. K, it looks like she's trying to be another Dr. Brenner. And I suppose Dr. K's goal is to, develop weapons against the commies. It's an 80s themed show, so of course, like every movie that dealt with the government had that as a theme, it seems like. It also seems like, I think there's going to be a revenge arc where Callie and Elle take down this. They now have an attempt to replicate the same experiment that messed up their lives. And they're gonna burn that facility to the ground. They're gonna do something to that place. I'm thinking of the movie Firestarter that I featured in my Will Gets Powers video. That ended with a child experiment destroying the facility that experimented on her. It seems though like Callie has lost hope. That she's just been through her traumatic experience, has given up on trying to do this. But she now has friends, and she's now out of there. I think she's would totally be in it. Jonathan and Nancy's argument. When I watched it this time, I was like, Jonathan really did seem to be reaching out to Nancy and pointing out how she seemed to be shut off and that they're not a team anymore. And Nancy was just like in denial of it being a problem. So I thought Nancy was more the standoffish one there. However, she did point out that he's been not completely honest about something as well. And I'm wondering what that is. Was it him not telling her that he didn't get into the same college she did? That's the only thing I'm aware of. Anyway, not telling her, I don't know if it's completely justified, but at least nobly intended to, not have her hold back on her career ambitions because of him. So I don't even know what she's getting on about. Maybe more will be revealed. The Steve and Dustin argument, of course, is the big argument. Although Dustin was not faultless, Steve was being pretty indefensible here. He was like reducing Dustin's grief over Eddie to, oh, you just think Eddie's perfect. Like reducing it to a petty rivalry between himself and Eddie for Dustin's attention and being resentful of that when Eddie died. I mean, that was pretty, I don't know how you defend that. And then saying that Eddie was not a hero and made a dumb call when I believe Eddie was a hero, that was pretty shocking and wrong. My conclusion as to what's going on with Steve, I think he's hurting Dustin because he's jealous. I know they're platonic, but he loves Dustin and kind of feels, takes it personally and is taking it kind of immaturely the way Dustin's treating Steve and kind of viewing it as like jealousy. It's like jealous bromantic love, I'm calling it. But yeah, he should be more understanding and not overreact when Dustin lashes out. And I don't know, there's been no evidence that Steve has really tried to reach out to Dustin in a real way and just been patient, just to be there. But to attack Dustin for reacting in an understandable way just doesn't seem like the right call. And he's the older, more mature person. He should know better. I don't see them making up after this unless something dramatic happens, and of course that will. At least Steve was not fighting back against Dustin, just trying to bring him back down. But yeah, that was pretty bad on Steve's art. And honestly, I'm kind of happy this happened because Steve's been like getting a tongue bath from the fandom. Oh, he's perfect. He's like super idolized by the community and people forget his homophobia in season 1. It's nice to see a flaw in his character, is all I have to say. Make him more real. Now, the lore, that's the other thing about this episode. So many questions. It makes me resentful of the binge release schedule. If this were a new episode every week, we could all theorize together as a community and like have a lot of fun thinking about what's going on. As I've said before, I think Vecna's apparent plan is to destroy humanity, create a wormhole so that Dimension X can spill into the real world. And my theory has also been that the Upside Down is a bridge between the real world and Dimension X. Remember when they were chasing the Demogorgon into the Upside Down and Dustin said there was some interference and the Demogorgon was getting faster and faster and the car had to speed up and then they eventually hit the wall? I think the Demogorgon had to go into the Upside Down in order to do another jump to wherever the kids are being held. And the kids are being held in a place that's very red. So that matches Dimension X, what we know of Dimension X. And when Holly almost returned home at the end of this episode, the place that she saw beyond was very red. We would assume, because Max saw her own body in the hospital bed, that this is where Holly's body is. It's in Dimension X. We find out in season 4, while Vecna's taunting Elle, he had been sent to Dimension X. And thanks to Elle, she opened the door for Vecna in season 1. I believe that was not November 6th. that was sometime before November 6th. Why are there dead people in the Upside Down? The bodies that Jonathan and Nancy saw. All right, so I thought, that's interesting, that uniform. It looks kind of old-fashioned, and it looks like it is a World War II Army outfit, a U.S. Army. I think the soldiers from the first Shadow, the stage play, are here. What starts everything is there's a U.S. government experiment to make ships invisible, which has obvious advantages in war. And in this experiment, they had this ship become invisible, but it ends up in Dimension X. And there's only one survivor who returns. All the other soldiers die. What seems to have happened is that they've been deposited into the Upside Down in 1983. Remember, wormholes let you jump dimensions, but also travel through time, according to Mr. Clark. That seems to be what has happened. Now, how this all ties together, I've had a lot of trouble coming up with a theory, but here's my theory now. My theory is that the Upside Down was created by Dr. Brenner in the Department of Energy. Before Dr. Brenner was in the business of trying to make superpowered kids, he was working on the Nevada Project, which in the wake of the USS Eldridge experiment, the sole survivor was Dr. Brenner's dad, who went insane. And Dr. Brenner wanted to replicate what happened. I suppose figure out how to get to Dimension X or research that place for whatever reasons he had. So has been his motive. And then he has an additional motive to get to Dimension X after we find out in season 4 when Elle's confronting Dr. Brenner that the whole time while working with her and cultivating her powers, that Dr. Brenner had an ulterior motive of trying to get Henry back. Henry, his prized subject, from whatever dimension a young child Elle sent him to. And so Dr. Brenner apparently deliberately had Elle interacting with the void and searching for Henry and somehow try to open a way to Henry or for Henry to return. And as we know, that is what Vecna tells Elle happened. She opened a door for Vecna to walk through. Then something else happens, however, to create the Upside Down, and this happens apparently on November 6th, where a replica is made of Hawkins. And let's look at those notes. First, there's a circle shape. So this looks like the circle drawn on the map of Hawkins. Something wormholes need exotic matter to counteract the gravitational forces that would otherwise, something-wise, cause the wormhole to collapse. Remember, Mr. Clark said wormholes are inherently unstable. They'll only last for a moment. This exotic matter could create a repulsive gravitational effect necessary to keep the wormhole stabilized and open. So this is the key phrase here. It would seem that whatever the circle is this a model of what this stable wormhole is, and that the Upside Down is a stable, open wormhole, a way to get to somewhere else. This apparently is Dimension X. And so apparently Dr. Brenner creates this wormhole to allow Henry to return to the real world. Possibly with Vecna acting as a puppet master behind the scenes. Why it's on November 6th and the significance of that date, I am still unsure. So the USS Eldridge was in Dimension X when the Upside Down is created, I assume. It created an end destination for the USS Eldridge to go to. Dustin is freaking out because disturbing this could destabilize the wormhole. Apparently, this would destroy the Upside Down and everything in it. Holly would no longer have a connection to the real world. But apparently something else will happen than everyone dying because there are 3 more episodes. Also, we see in one of the trailers a big explosion. It looks like a barrier forming in the sky that radiates out starting from the Department of Energy. Now, why does Vecna need 12 kids? I don't know what this exotic matter is, but I think what he's putting in their bodies is the exotic matter that's needed to make them able to give structure to this wormhole, to make this wormhole possible. And when I say this wormhole now, I'm talking about some super wormhole that is different from the Upside Down, or maybe powers up the Upside Down so that Vecna can suck all of Dimension X into the real world on November 6th. November 6th is a key date, apparently, for this kind of wormhole. So, that's that. Oh my goodness. I was supposed to react to comments on my Patreon. I got too excited and jumped to my notes. I write fanfics to afford this account writes, thoughts on how well the character fights are being handled this episode? I'm not quite sure I like the direction they're setting up for Elle and Callie here. It feels like a step back for Elle's character to me personally. What about you? On how Jonathan and Nancy's fight is being done, it's just a little vague what Nancy's talking about in terms of what Jonathan has not been honest about. It doesn't seem very significant in the grand scheme of things. It's just kind of like you just want to throttle them and say, be honest and communicate. It seems like a little bit artificial so that they can have an arc of coming back together. I don't know. Hop and Elle, they did fight over Hop being ready to do a suicide mission. I like the relationship and how it's being handled. Hopper is saying, and there's a part of his mind that says it's only a last resort. He wants to be alive for his daughter, but he also is not over the guilt of losing Sarah. He's never going to get over that. So that is going on in the back of his mind. So their arguments are basically them showing their love for each other. That's all. That's how we love. Dustin and Steve, how they're being handled. I quite like their argument. I was just shocked. I mean, Steve took a downgrade in his character and kind of being an idiot. So maybe I'm unhappy about... I said, though, I was happy to see a flaw in Steve. So I guess I'm in the camp of liking it, I suppose. Though I imagine most fans do not like it because how dare you make my favorite character, like, flawed? They're going to make up. They're going to confess their bromance to each other. A step back for Elle's character. I don't know what that's referring to, honestly. Okay, Marissa X says, in part 2, at 3425, you brought up the writing potentially being faulty, which has prompted me to want to ask, okay, I need to pause the recording and figure out what moment they're talking about. I know it was a line of dialogue from Jonathan. You just had to pick up, didn't you? It must have been referring to something that I don't get. Oh, go up the stairs. That's what he was referring to. I was kind of joking there. I was like, if I don't understand it, it's because it's the writer's fault, not mine. I was joking. How do you think the overall writing in season 5 compares to the previous seasons up to this point? You also mentioned in an earlier episode reaction that you think Mike would usually be smart enough to deduce that Mr. Whatsit is Vecna himself, and I agree. Which further has been making me wonder your perspective on the writing this season. I'm curious what you have to say. Well, there's a few things I've niggled about and complained about, like the military not knowing bullets affect the Demogorgons, maybe Joyce being so eager for Will to be used. I might have a complaint about that, but honestly, I'm not someone who dwells on things that, like, if it hits the emotional high points, that's usually what I care about. What I point out as faults, I don't really care that much about what I'm talking about. Okay, like Mike usually being smart enough to deduce that Mr. Whatsit is Vecna himself. Another side of me says, okay, they must have had some writing reason to have done that. Like right now, like in this episode, I complained about splitting the party, but you had to do this in order to have the Dustin Steve argument. If Nancy and Jonathan were standing right there, it would have had less intensity and honesty and rawness than what happened. Now, Mike being a bit like optimistic and giving up, oh, maybe monsters aren't real, Holly. I suppose you could chalk it up to showing he's being a leader, kind of, inspiring others to be less afraid. You can see that being the reason why he would do it. So I don't know. I'm not going to say I would have written it better. I'm not going to go so far as to say that. So yeah, I have criticisms, but I'm not saying it's objectively bad for that reason. I don't know. I'd have to think more and see the full season and the full series to make final judgment on these things. Chescalation writes, interested to hear what you've got to say. I think there's so much stuff to address at this point of the season. What are the most intriguing questions you feel like you need to get answers to? My usual routine is to start with answering questions and then go into my notes, but I kind of reversed it this time. Oh, I have more notes to go through, by the way, folks. But you've seen what I've emphasized by what I've said already. For me, it's what's most intriguing is what the hell is going on with the Upside Down. And of course, Byler. Do I think that Will using the truth serum will come to play this volume? I did not make that conclusion hearing that conversation that Will use a truth serum on Mike. That would kind of be problematic. It sends a wrong message. Not wrong message. To have a gay guy get a supposedly straight guy, in the majority of the audience's opinion, drugged up to say with how they feel. I don't know if I need to complete that sentence. And if yes, what kind of way you'd like it to happen? Okay, I'm going to assume metaphorical truth serum then. What I think is best for Will's character development is for him to just be frank and honest and come out, have a heart-to-heart with Mike. However, I don't think that's what will happen because I think there are far more dramatic ways. And there's also only 3 episodes left for this realization to come about. I think one scenario I've spelled out is that he does approach Mike to try to sort out his feelings, but Vecna will fuck with him, make him see things that aren't true, have Mike reject Will in Will's eyes, and cause Will to spiral. What's coming up next? In episode 6, Escape from Camazotz. Okay, Will is now unconscious, so we're probably going to see that shot from the trailer while Will's on the couch and Mike and Joyce are concerned. So yeah, Will's in danger now. I thought he was in danger after episode 4, but Joyce and Mike did not think he was. They believed in him. I guess that's the party line, but I would say it's a bit foolhardy though, nevertheless, because going up against Vecna, Vecna wasn't aware of Will at the time, at the end of Sorcerer. Whether Will could overcome Vecna in a head-to-head battle was not established. One could say that is a quote writing flaw, but I'm going along with the right, honestly. So Will's in danger. You saw Lucas yell at Robin to turn up the power to disconnect him from the hive mind, because we just saw that Will could snap Vecna's limbs, and who knows what Vecna could have done back to Will. I think they've changed the rules a bit in the lore. Like before, Vecna could Vecna people from anywhere and people who were not connected with the hive mind, but they've written the rules differently. I think, so that Will has to be connected to the hive mind or close to a monster that is connected to the hive mind, both for Will to affect it and for Vecna to affect Will. Because honestly, if Vecna had roaming Wi-Fi, I don't know what you call it, a roaming connection with Will would be screwed. Will would be Vecna'd right now and his limbs would snap. So they kind of have to rewrite the technology here for Will to have a fighting chance. Now, killing Vecna, that was their plan, but they didn't come up with a plan to get the kids back. And they don't know where the kids are. So one could say that's a flaw in their plan and their thinking. And maybe this is why Elle goes into the isolation tank in the trailer, perhaps to enter Will's mind, because he's unconscious now, in order to see his memories and maybe find out where the kids are. They now know that Max is in Camazotz with Holly, and also that Max's body is in the hospital. So rescuing her is going to probably be different. And we've seen trailer footage of Lucas trying to get Max out of the hospital with Demogorgons or Demodogs going after them. That's part of rescuing Max. That's all I'll say. I don't have any theories on that. And then Erica's idea of getting Mr. Clark to build his telemetry device to track the gang is probably going to be how they get the gang back from the Upside Down. I don't know how they have a gate to come back. They'll find a way to communicate. And they're able to use their walkie-talkies with Hopper in episode 1. So they'll come up with a plan. Inserting this in later, I had another idea, another possibility, is that Will is now in Camazotz because he's in an unreachable state at the very end of the episode, kind of like Max is. Now, I'm not sure about this because it didn't look like Vecna captured Will. He was trying to told Will to get out, but I don't know, this brings some possibilities. Will had was telling Max to run away, perhaps because he has some more knowledge about what Max actually should do. And so Will being in Camazotz could help Max and Holly and the others escape. And it would be an opportunity for Will, his path, if he were to escape from Camazotz, he would be going through the memories of Vecna stalking him. And it would be an opportunity to look at his past and learn about his past. But I'm just not sure because, okay, apparently most of Noah's scenes were with Finn this season, so this would mean Noah would have a significant amount of time away from the real world. And also, who would Elle be searching for in the tub? Because Will, if he's in Camazotz, would not be reachable. So anyway, that was one thing I wanted to put out there as a possibility. So let's now talk about death predictions and my meters. All right, so I had predicted Robin as 4th most likely to die because of her emotional importance to Will. I actually am taking her off my list of likely deaths because of the bury your gaze trope, and also I think to have the emotional impact on Will that I thought made it possible for her to die. It just has to be a death scare. not an actual death of Robin. Callie's still at number 3 because she's relatively expendable. And then Hopper's number 2 and Joyce is still number 1. They're emphasizing a lot Joyce's growing trust and confidence in Will, and they're growing closer. Joyce is the person Will hugs all these times when he's like really going through something. So yeah, I think she's my number 1 prediction. Now, my villain meter, my odds that Will go through a villain arc this season where he does something horrible, possibly to someone he loves, or is made to think that he did, and he is dealing with the emotional fallout of that. My odds before were at 80%. I have lowered it now to 75%, just because one of my pieces of evidence was the teaser footage of Will yelling, "Run!" and looking like he's about to turn evil. We saw that in a completely different context in this episode. But it's still very high, my villain meter. Next, my Byler meter. I had it at 95% at the end of my scripted video that I put out a few days ago. I still have it at 95%. Because we had an episode in which not a whole lot happened, and there's only 3 episodes left. However, the fact that Robin's speech was not a end Will's coming out arc speech, it was a start his arc speech, definitely made me want to raise this. It's just that the mic interactions were a little subtle, more subtle than I was hoping at this point in the season. There was a lot more of Joyce being concerned for Will than Mike was. The fact that Will is on the road to come out to people and is looking for the courage to come out to Vicky, to approach his Vicky, means there will be a reckoning. Mike will be directly posed the question of whether he loves Will romantically. So definitely I feel, more optimistic than before. I mean, honestly, this could be a 96%. So either Will directly bring it up with Mike, or circumstances will force Mike. And remember that Noah had most of his scenes with Finn this season, and we've seen most of his scenes being with Robin. So we're about to be fed over these last few episodes if what Noah tried to avoid saying is true. I stand by my prediction that the conversation in the van in season 4, where Will described Mike as the heart, that Mike being the heart is what gives Will the strength to fight on, the courage to fight on and not feel like a mistake, that specifically is foreshadowing what happens that helps Will overcome Vecna. All right, so on to episode 6, and if there's not much Byler in episode 6, I will genuinely start to worry because of there being so little time left. And also because if Mike is not showing some of his more intense feelings for Will, now that Will is clearly in danger, I would start to have real doubts. So we'll see what happens. So I think episode 6 is going to be a big one, the first big one, and I think episode 7 will be bigger because episode 6 is directed by Sean Levy, who has directed a lot of infamous Byler episodes in the past and seems to, according to social media postings, seems to be a big fan of Byler, apparently. And he also co-directs episode 7 with the Duffer Brothers. And these 2 episodes are also, I believe, over an hour and a half each, if what I heard was correct. So I am really excited for these next 2 episodes. I think if Byler happens, it's probably going to be in these next 2 episodes, if not in the finale, which is completely I just said a statement that cannot be false. So that's it, and I'll see you in the next episodes.